Why your boy put in the grill quick?
That why it's Skylark boy.
Yeah, you're live now, you're live now, you're live now.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Bless up, bless up. All
Greetings
right,
from the
brother.
jewel.
Handle.
Greetings from the jewel. Yeah, man. Carnival on the streets. I drew very early this morning. We're back here. We're a little late this afternoon, but you know, technology being what it is, not a perfect science. It drop down every now and again. We're supposed to be joined also by Mr. George Myvitt, but in the house, Mr. Leonard Brackett. You know, when he coin a handful of notes, script, history, all kind of thing. So, tell me something, because the hot issue now on the burner, that is here thing at school. Some children are sent back home because their hair was too long. How you see that? What do you think about it?
I think it should have been taken care of a long time ago. As a matter of fact, the last time when the young ladies from the police department had a problem, I had gotten involved in speaking with them about it, and also with their lawyer, and made some recommendations as to how to go about dealing with the matter, because to me it's a constitutional issue.
So you think they ought to be allowed to wear their hair how they want it?
Definitely. The way that stuff was structured in the police department was a long time ago under the British system, where the British wanted the black people in Belize to meet a certain level of dress code. You know, they never had the same problems with the Latin people, and the Latin people in here just don't have the same texture and the same.
Now you
So
hear me
people used to
now.
bald their head. People used to just have their hair, whereas the
Now,
black people, especially the young ladies, then right.
as I
They hear
listen to
nothing.
you, you will listen to me too, right? Because
Yes, sir. Of course, it's a
all
two-way
right.
conversation.
All right. Now, I hear this race card being played. I hear them talking about colonial masters, what they used to do, and all of that. From the beginning of civilization, it's been understood. You see, you're done, they get ready for, you know, where I say it, you look for dismiss where I say.
Mr.
I
Mike,
sit
make
down and
everybody
listen.
know where to
Hold
go.
up.
To tell everybody how to behave, man.
Hold
They embarrass me.
I disagreed with you.
Go ahead.
But I listened to you.
Yes,
All I'm
sir.
saying is offer the same courtesy, because I'm just trying to build a premise to my argument. You see? Now,
You spend the time to scold me rather than to get the argument across, man.
no, man, because you don't allow me. When you don't start to shake your head,
Where did Dubai not allowing you?
everybody to see you also and your reaction,
Okay.
and it's basically saying the lone rash when you have not even heard you have not even given thought to the comments. So let me do it. Now, from the beginning of time, there have been rules and regulations by which mankind understands that they have to live by. We go to the social contract. The social contract is that there are rules and guidelines that you must live by if you will be a part of society. You can go off in a cave by yourself and do exactly what you want to do. Now, discipline, like everything else, is a learned behavior. This is what school and education is about. Now, you brought in the matter of the police department, because that is also another issue. The police is a disciplined department that deal with disciplining people. They themselves have got to follow a certain discipline. My point is that the rules are there. And if you want to challenge the rules, fine. But you go to a school and the school says, listen, you must wear your hair a certain length, and it does not specify whether it's Hispanic or black or white or coolie. In fact, a lot of black people can grow no hair to any degree of length. So let's be real about that. Now play the race card, man, because it's not about race. This is about teaching children how to be disciplined. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Do you recall what was the outcome of that case with the officers then?
I don't even
Didn't the
care.
Supreme Court ruled in their favor?
I don't even remember the outcome. No,
Okay.
no, I don't know.
They were legitimately vindicated in their effort, because constitutional wise, as I had already tried to tell Mr. Williams, he as a lawyer should have known that it was his prerogative as the head of that department to modify some of the laws that he found on the book, or to get the legislators, if needed, to modify some of them. The bottom line is that he was abiding, when he tried to put down his foot on top of those young lady, he was abiding by the old standard, which is what my point was initially why I brought it up. That not only the kids them today are having problem, but we have that as a societal, structural problem, was my point. At least where I was going with the point.
Is that what?
It has nothing to do with racism.
But you brought in a racism. You said
I was trying to give you a comparison or a comparative.
No, but then none of that. But you introduced that. You introduced that. You said
you can take it as that's the way you would prefer to interpret it.
But sir, that's
what my point is that it's a historical reality.
That's what?
Of our societal structure.
Yes, that what?
That there are certain requirements that needs to be met, and if those requirements are not met, there are those rules that are in place, which are then, like what I said, our police commissioner adhered to. When in fact he had the option to not pressure those young ladies to the extent, because they have to realize that their young lady, they know every day they could dial up, then here, like then going a weekend party. Sometimes I wake up and I have to rush out that door and get that job on time or whatever. They have to haul on one cap or want something behind their hair. One Spanish person could just roll up the hair in Ali Buns, 30 seconds, and that's done.
That has nothing to do with it. Why would
compared to plotting one? Okay, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. I'm talking over you again.
George likes to point out that George Price was my hero. And yes, George Price is my hero. Again. No, man, I see myself, man. When you go through a whole rambling for put on premise the argument, I let you speak, and then I listen to you and let you reach
I must accord you the same. Please accept my humble apologies, okay?
Please, man.
In public, I'm apologizing in public for that bad behavior or that bad habit.
George Price had a popular saying: clarity of thought and economy of words. I think we should keep this in mind when we argue. And when I say we argue, I'm not talking about quarrel. Quarrel is another thing. When we argue and present our point of view. Now, you can agree or disagree, but when you disagree, I would prefer that you do it in a precise, concise manner, as opposed to rambling all over the place by the commissioner and this and what and that. I am bringing to you what is relative to this case. This matter is that from the very beginning of time, and if you disagree with this, let me know why and show me the alternative. But there have always been rules and a need for rules. Am I right or am I wrong?
Be facetious then. Rules were made to be broken. And the rules are made by people who don't abide by those rules.
Hold up. Are you serious?
They're made for other people.
Are you serious?
No, I'm going philosophical on you, Mr. D, if you allow me.
Hold on.
The rules, laws are made by the privileged few for the welfare and the benefit of the privileged few, not for me and you.
That's foolish. That's foolish.
Okay.
Because we're not talking.
You're entitled to your opinion. We disagree, right?
In your house, do you have rules? Do your children have to abide by those rules?
Are you trying to imply to me that maybe because I have rules, those rules aren't broken?
My brother,
and sometimes I have to just contextualize the circumstance.
You have to learn for argument. How can you put that to that point? That's a bridge too far. Listen to me. I'm asking you a clear question with no kind of ulterior motive or suggestions. In your house, Mr. Brackett, do you have rules? Are your children expected to abide by certain things, like coming in at a certain hour when they're a certain age, not get out and make up their bed, not left thing all over the place? Are there rules in your household, Mr. Brackett?
All over the world there are rules, sir, including my household.
Isn't that just
my household have rules?
Why can't it be
and my kids grew up with those rules.
Why can't it just be yes or no, and then I can continue with
because I've done that. I've learned from the experience of having debated with you before and having made statements that you turn around and then beat me over the head with. You know, I don't think that that's fair for me to do to myself. It's bad enough for you to do it to me, but not for me to do it to myself.
Let me ask you again.
So I try to provide context or information.
Do you have rules in your house?
Yes, sir.
And are those rules meant to be broken? Because that was your comment. Rules are meant to be broken.
No, that was a wider philosophical. Remember, I told you I was going to go philosophical with you, which is a wider spectrum.
See, you're going off on a tangent again.
The wider spectrum.
Here we go. Here we go. There are rules. There are the 10 commandments. Are you a God-fearing man? Do you believe in God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you believe the 10 commandments was there for a reason?
Still is there for the same reason.
Don't you consider?
But I've been broken every day, every hour.
Yes, that doesn't matter. Do you think that they were made to be broken? Do you like? Hold on,
Mr.
no man.
Sir, I'm not God.
Just be clear.
So why would I say yes, they were made to be broken? I would have to put myself in God's seat and then make that statement. I'm not God.
That's what you said. That's what you said.
I'll use one phrase. That's a bridge too far for me to cross.
That's what you said, Mr. Brackett. You said rules are meant to be broken.
But you carry me away to God, and I don't know God.
Let's not go so far.
You're a human being, man.
I carry you right to your house.
Are you
Leonard Brackett? Are you Leonard Brackett? I took you to your house. Now let's go to the Constitution, which you hold up so sacred. Would you say that the Constitution are rules? And in fact,
remember the question. Okay, I'll answer your question. And a question which is something I could detest a lot.
Why?
You always call me for doing it.
How can we debate like that? How can we debate like that? Sir, no, I won't let you get away. I will not let you get away with that. It's a simple question.
But it's an answer to the question that will suffice.
No,
it's an answer that will suffice. Okay, I should have just gone ahead and answered. I should have gone ahead and answered rather than
just answer it. You don't have to qualify every statement or every answer with a whole lot of craziness and stories and whatnot. There are simple questions and simple answers are needed. That's all. You have the 10 commandments. You have the Constitution. You go back to the Magna Carta. You go to Barnaby Code. You go to your household that have rules. Now, those rules, my son understands that if you're not going to abide by the rules in this house, you need to go. Because this is my house.
So I'm put out on the street then.
If it needs be, if he doesn't want to, if you don't abide by the rules, yes. I remember one time my father, story, my father put me out of the house one night because we come in late to tell me, boy, be here by 10 o'clock. Big man, I walk in 12 o'clock. He said, boy, you can't come in at this house. Now I 16. I got a police station. I said, Mr. Police, my father locked me out, sir. He said, why the man can't do that? Carry on, leave, boy, let's go. When you get out of the house and knock on my door, he says, sir, is anybody too young for the out? My pastor said, well, carry on your house. Because it's ambition and they obey the rules in my house. You have to go. Now, I'm saying to you, rules are not meant to be broken. Rules are meant to be obeyed. How can you make such an absurd statement? Who yourself have rules in your house that you expect to be abided by? Now you could go through all kind of history and story and whatnot.
You see how many touchstone you touch on there in that one small dissertation?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I wonder if I can get the answer at least one of them or two of them.
You answer all of them. But answer
one.
Which one?
Rules. Okay, let me go back. The laws are made by the privileged few for the welfare and the benefit of the privileged few. Not for me and you. I don't know how you will be able to interpret that or if you understand what I'm contextualizing there. But I'm saying to you, in effect, though, all laws that are being made from the time of creation till now, that's why we got Satan on the face of the earth, because he violated laws long before the 10 commandments. Okay? You and I are mere mortals, and for we generations or children or the rest of people that we live among with here on this earth, we are all just mere mortals. We are fighting against powers and principalities far beyond we level of even imagination, much as ability to relate to. So when we put down hard rules like you said, your father did to you, and which my father did to me, and other people's father did to them, and I as a father did to my kids them, we put these rules down hard and fast. But when push comes to shove, we have to contextualize those rules and the reality of what it is that they present to us. For example, I would not have let my kids be locked out of my house just because they break one of my rules. I have to find another alternative to get that point across. So the fact that if my kid will have to stay at the house, I think the last time we had this particular conversation, which I remember we touched on, I gave you a personal experience of mine, right? I think I did, but I don't know if I should repeat it and go over it again because it's personal, but it didn't only include myself. It included one of my kids in a similar situation like what you said you encountered. But for the fact that I don't want to, malign or bring up other people's stuff in my own defense or to my own defense, I'd rather, put up my shoulder and I feel that my shoulder is big enough to take the licking.
All right. Let me say something.
And leave the other people alone. Sorry.
I want you to not apologize. You do it.
No, I'm apologizing because I was over talking on you again. I keep doing that.
If you do it every time, if you do it every time, don't apologize. Just do it and go on with it. Let's go. Anyway, you need to understand that. See, this show, even if a lot of people don't view it live, it's available on YouTube, and there are other people than us who see it. So I want you to keep that in mind when you make the arguments and understand that there are people, intelligent people, who listen when we speak. When you make a statement like rules are made to be broken, you're suggesting that we should just live helter-skelter in a state of nature in society without rules and guidelines. But we need rules and guidelines. And it's not only the white man, the master, the slave master that had rules for the slaves. Of course they did. Just like you have slave rules for people in your house if they work for you. Or if you're a manager in a company or something, your subordinates have rules that they must follow. And they must listen to you when you say that. Now, if the rule is unfair, then first of all, before a rule is even put into effect, it has to go through a certain procedure. And I believe it has to be passed by consensus or by common sense, which suggests that, there's a reason for this rule. And if the rule does not exist, then there will be chaos, because order is what we're striving for here. That is the objective, to have order as opposed to chaos. If you don't have rules, you will have chaos. And that is why every society that has been, whether you're from Africa or Europe or India or Asia, there are rules for those societies, because the individual right means nothing. The right of the society supersedes that. Not that it means nothing, but it is not, in a larger scheme of thing, not that important at all. What you want is not important, is what is good for the society on a whole. That is what has to be for us to live in a constructive, progressive nation. Don't you agree with that? Or let me know why you don't.
Okay. That is all fine, well said. But when the rubber hit the road and the realities have to be dealt with, it is the citizenry as individuals that comprises the society, and which is why, like you're intimating, the society to protect itself against wayward and or stragglers or people who would want to live like animals, create these rules to avoid just under the strong surviving, to allow at least some modicum of existence or camaraderie or operation or civility within the society itself. That's why we call it a civil society, because we have idiots out there who are not interested in comporting themselves as part of a civil society. They feel like they can do whatever they want because it's their life, it's their prerogative, and they will do what they want. And if there are any consequences, they'll deal with those consequences. That is the kind of mindset and mentality that drives the criminal elements that are now festering in our society back home in the Middle East.
And is that good in your?
They feel like their personal right supersede that of the common good of the whole society. And I think that is where you're pointing out.
Yes.
These rules are very much critical and important.
Right.
Now, in the case of your dad, if that police had arrested your dad for letting you be on the street and not being inside of his household, do you think that he would have been in his right? Or do you think that it is right for dictators to make the dictatorial requests of their subordinates?
But if you ask me a question,
just because they are the dictators or are in the position of being the dictators?
If you ask me a question, let me answer.
Yes, sir.
Now, I believe that we have allowed the pendulum to swing too far. Those older folks were excessively cruel. And if half of the laws that exist now existed back then, more than half of them would be in jail because they were cruel and it was unusual, the kind of punishment that they administered. I understand that. But in that day, that was the order of the day. That was how it was. In Belize, there was you got picked with Neil Long and Great Time.
I used to be one of them.
All right, listen to me. I was in school and they made me walk on my knee from one end of the room to the next on cement floor. This is a ABC a day. Really point in fact one I think. And I got home and I had to lie because the teacher may lash me again and they may lash me home. So that is what was then. Now I believe we have gone too far because we have created children who are entitled and don't give a damn about rules and regulations. But this is, I finish. No, I finish.
Yes, sir.
This is what we're trying to avoid by maintaining rules in the schools. And certain rules, some schools, like you check for Mad Williams, would not have that kind of rule. So, but you don't want your child to go there. You want your child to go to a school where they will get a quality education. That requires a stricter code of conduct because these people in the schools understand that to groom a child into a productive human being, into a whole human being, they have to also understand the need to abide by laws. Nature itself has specific laws that you must abide by or you will not survive. Do I make my point?
Yes, sir. Very, very clear.
All right. So, I mean, that now then tell me why you believe that these children, outside of the fact that the Spanish hair grow longer, outside of the fact that some people can hide their hair and some not hide it, why should the school break the rules to suit a couple of children who want to do what they want to do, which we know is not the right way to go?
Because the rule of itself, even though it's a rule, okay, the rule was not structured in consideration of the variance and the variety of the people that has to come to that school.
What do you mean by that?
Remember, not all ethnicities go to the same school, dressing the same way.
Or where does it? No,
cutting their hair the same way.
But the rule applies to everybody.
Let's take it out of the private schools then, because in private schools you do have dress codes and all these different things that we're now discussing.
Right, right. Are they okay or aren't they okay?
I have no problem with that.
Well, how can you not have problem in one part but have problem in the other part for the same rule?
Because
now listen, sorry. Do you understand that these rules apply to everybody regardless of what ethnicity? Whether a Spanish or black or Chinese or Indian? Did you know that?
Yes, but in creating the rules and in exercising the right of demanding that the rules be complied with, there must be some modicum of recognition of variances.
What modicum is that now? That what? That some people here grow longer than others?
That's one.
Cut it. Cut it. You're cutting your hair does nothing to your intelligence. But grooming it does do something to your intelligence because it gives you discipline.
Mr. Mike, could you give me 1 second? 1 second. Not much more than 1 second. Not more than 1 second.
Go ahead.
If a person has long hair, you don't have to be, that person could be a black person, could be a Spanish person, it could be a Latino, a white person, it could be a lot of people hair grow long. As a matter of fact, we hair grow. how long, is immaterial. Or hair does grow. When these people put these rules together, is to get a certain type of comportment or a certain similarity in comportment. Okay?
Yeah.
When we go and teach the kids them, as was being taught to us in olden days, that you got to follow these rules, and we put these rules here for your own well-being, right?
Mhm.
And the kids abide by the rule in our presence, but when they are not in our presence, they disregard totally the intent and the objective of those rules.
What are you saying, son? What are you saying? What are you saying? You're speaking things that obvious. You're stating the obvious. Yes, we as children know that.
What is obvious? What is obvious today was not as obvious yesterday, and will not be as obvious tomorrow, because time and circumstance and situation changes.
True. That again is obvious. You're stating the obvious. You're not telling. You're not.
Well, then we got to deal with the obvious.
What is the obvious, sir, that you're talking about?
The obvious is that some people.
Things change.
The obvious is that some people want to have their cornrowing on their head. Right? Some people want to have their head bald.
Hold on.
Some people want to have their gray hair. For example.
Hold on. Are you saying that they're supposed to be allowed to do that then just because they want to? That's what you're saying. Just anybody's supposed
I'm
to.
saying that there should be accommodation, Mr. Mike.
Why? To suit their desire, when in fact it is against the grain that we know creates discipline. And this.
No. That's a different issue. You're conflating there.
What? Conflating what, sir?
The fact. Remember, just now I said even if a person's head is bald, that doesn't mean that they still not got smart or brains in there just now, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Put that to the same thing about whatever the quality or style of hairdo or whatever the person have.
Exactly.
It's the point that most black people are trying to make here in America and around the world.
What?
Not because I dress the way I dress with short pants and tear-up pants, or because I dress or because I can't keep myself, or I don't have the economic means to be able to afford to dress with necktie and everything to go for an interview, that I must not get a job or I cannot put food on my table.
But you're introducing something totally foreign to this discussion.
No.
Totally foreign. Totally foreign. Is there anybody you know who's too economically depressed to be clean? Do you know that? And you know anybody that's
I deal with them on a daily basis, Mr. Mike. People
that can't be clean because they're too poor. They can't wash their hands. In our day,
I deal with them on a regular basis, Mr. Mike.
Hold up. Let's be real now. Know who you deal with.
Yeah, some of homelessness is here in America.
That's not the question. The question is, are they too poor to be clean? Even homeless people can be clean, Mr. Brackett. It doesn't take much to wash your hand and wash your face, but they don't want to do that.
Some homeless people don't have where to go and dispose of them bodily waste.
Yeah, well, you know what? You want to formulate policy based on the lowest common denominator. Because what percentage of our population you believe fit that mold? What you mean? And not come with over 50% poverty, because not all poor people are like that. I know poor people who are clean. I also know poor people.
You ask the question and then you answer it for me. So it's an ask and answer question.
You know, you're not funny. But it's frustrating.
You asked me the question, and then when I was about to give you additional answers on top of the one that I've given you before.
Additional answers. There's only one answer.
The first answer that I gave you was very factual.
What is that?
Homeless people exist here in America.
But this was not about homeless. This was not a question about homeless, my brother.
Some of them are homeless for different reasons.
But this
they have mental problem. They have drug problem.
My boy, that was not the point. Where does homeless come into this? I am saying
how we deal with people, how we relate to people and their circumstances. We're not all the same. We don't all fit the same criteria. We can't all fit in the same mold.
Hold on a second. If a homeless person comes to your house, stink and dirty, you will invite him in and put him at your dinner table with your wife and children?
Are you telling me that there are not other ways to deal with that circumstance? No, you're presupposing a point that I'm not disposed to go along with.
Why can't you answer the question?
Because you want the answer that you want, and rather than deal with the question or the issue as I'm trying to point them out to you.
Why? We're rational
Remember, we
beings.
think. Oh, sorry.
We're rational beings. We
Oh,
argue in a way, specific things. If I ask you a question and you answer it, that is not going outside of the norm, man. I'm saying.
Did I not tell you that there are homeless people that don't conform to our expectations?
Sir.
And then you turn around and use it like to say, well, okay, well.
No, because
Sir, I'm dealing with those people on a regular basis. I'm telling you. You don't have to believe me, but that's the fact.
The only way I can make the point is if you allow me to speak, my brother. And you don't. You go off on a tangent and all about this and that and that you bring me to this point that has nothing to do. You keep running down a rabbit hole. I'm not going down there with you.
We have different human beings that we're dealing with, sir, which is my point that I'm trying to say to you. How else can I get it across?
So your point is
everybody is not one and the same.
Well, hold on, sir. So your point is that we should let everybody that wants to do what they want to do what they want to do. That's your point, right?
Neither did I say that. I did not imply that either. I hope that you didn't go from one extreme to the next. Because neither did I imply that, nor did I say that.
That is exactly what you're implying.
You're assuming that.
No, I'm not assuming.
You have a right to your assumptions.
Tell me what you're implying then. What is the reason?
I'm implying, okay. Let's go back to the original conversation, sir, because we still left it out there like a big short term standing up, okay? Unanswered.
What question?
In fact, you asked me the question about the kids them in school.
Right.
But they're here. I retorted back to you about a grown-up situation with the same circumstance with them here. Right. And I pointed out to you that grown-up situation was settled in Supreme Court to vindicate what I had already told those young lady from the very beginning. That constitutional-wise, they had a right, according to what we Constitution says in detail when it deals to those specific facts.
What does it say?
Not to be discriminated against compared to...
Where in the Constitution does it say that?
Holy mackerels.
No, but if you want to bring up a point as one premise to your argument, you have to be able to prove that premise, my brother. You can't just throw a thing out there like that. Who are you, God, that we have to believe everything you say? No, you said... That is the problem that we have, Mr. G. That is the problem we have. What is the problem that we have?
Your ability to lend any credibility to anything that I have to say. And it's a blocking means by which my communication to you gets blocked off. You're unable to assimilate.
Your inability to prove what you're saying. You can't just say something and can't prove it. You can't do that. You can't.
But you can't tell me that I can't prove what I tell you. I tell you.
I could tell you
because I know what I'm telling you, why I'm telling you, and on what basis I'm telling you. You don't happen to know that I know that. So you question that in a derogative way.
So I could tell you that the Constitution says you could kill somebody if you want, and you can't question that. You can't ask me where in the Constitution is that, because you have to take my word for it. This is what you're saying. This is what you're saying.
The fact that you don't know what I'm talking about, or that what I'm saying is exactly as the Constitution stipulates,
then you have to enlighten me.
It's not a default of mine.
Yes, it is. You have to enlighten me. You can't just say that like that and throw that out there. I have to have the Constitution. I have to know what's in there too. And what you're saying the bullshit. Well, you're not, unless you could tell me.
You can assume that. You can assume that. But you need to read it.
Where is it that you're telling me?
No. Where
should I go? Where should I read?
Hold up. On this matter with you right now, right?
Hold up.
You have the Constitution in your hand there.
Right.
If you have read it, you have known whether or not what I'm saying is so, because it is in there.
You serious?
Okay.
You really serious?
I'm very serious about that particular.
No. You can't remember everything where you in there. You can't remember it. Not you.
But,
you think you're so smart.
Sir.
But then
you remember, Mr. Mike, you remember when I tell you what is in there, had you known that it is in there because you had read it before, you would not retort back to me that it is not in there and I'm trying to make up something else, or I'm trying to say something else that is not. You have that alone, by my telling you, that would have recall your memory that you did read it. Not having read it means that
I did not retort to you that. I retorted to you, show me where it is. That's what I said. And that is fair. Because if you want to state something like that, you have to be able to point out where it is. But how you want to tell me, and you don't know, you yourself don't know where it is. You don't know.
Sir, no. That's the point that you're trying to get across, that I'm ignorant of what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're not that insecure, are you? You're not that
insecure. In what sense? I wouldn't be insecure if I'm trying to entertain a discussion with you on the matter.
Every time somebody objects to what you say, you believe that it's calling you ignorant. That's not the truth.
No,
that is ridiculous. So No, hold
I made
on.
a statement to you.
Let's go
about-
on. Though. Hold on. No, no, rehash nothing. No rehash nothing because
Okay, okay,
we here.
Have it on tape.
Let's go to the point with the police department. All right. You want to join the police department. The police department has specific rules and a code of conduct, just like everything else. Right? You then, once you join the department, you decide, me don't want to abide by that rule. You are saying the police department is supposed to change that rule to accommodate that one individual?
Okay. It was never one individual to start with. Okay, so let's put that aside.
How many were there?
The individuals that I recall, there were at least about 9 people, and then above that, there were other people who did not participate in the thing because they didn't want to be sanctioned. Okay, you've been around the police department, so you know that the police department has its rules, and when people go against those rules, there are consequences one way or another.
Exactly.
Directly or indirectly. You should happen to know that much about the department.
As ought to be. As it ought to be.
Okay. Now, let me go back to when I mentioned to you, or why I brought up the commissioners, because at the head of the police department sits that person, in the case now of Mr. Williams. He has discretion as to whether or not he should have brought those or allowed those young ladies to have to take the matter to court in the first place, which I advised against. He had the ability to be able to look at the because people can always say, okay, well, the previous commissioners, they were not lawyers like himself, so they may not have known what the Constitution speaks to as regards to these particular issues. Whereas he, as a lawyer, has the ability and should have the knowledge or the capability to be able to look at that matter, take it to the police minister, and point out to the police minister, you know what, this thing, this blah 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 blah, it serves its purpose, but it's overbearing and it's unreasonable and unfair. All previous commissioners abided by it and didn't take that step. He could have done it and still could do it, and should do it after the case was taken to court and the court decided against the principles that are there. The least they can do is modify the damn thing to accommodate. That's all I'm saying. That's my point of contention.
Accommodate who? A minority?
Whether it's a minority or a majority.
No, that's not true. This world is run by consensus. Not agenda, a consensus. So
now then the consensus should be that everything, since our population in the country is more Latino than Creole or than other people before.
There you go, the race card again.
No, wait,
what does that have to do with anything?
Let me stop derogate from my point, man. Make us establish my point in my own words. You could go back and, like I said, it's on record and question it. Since we have, based on what you have just previously stated, since we have a consensus, the majority of Spanish people in the country then should be the ones to be running the country, right? Because they are the majority. It's a consensus of a majority rather than a minority. You don't care about the needs of the minority. To hell with that. Throw that out.
Aren't they? Have you seen?
They're and water. I'm sorry.
Have you seen the PUP makeup lately? Aren't they the ones running the government?
Well, you see now my way of debating how it brings you to be able to state for me what I could have stated for you.
Is what? What are you saying?
Because you're stating it, you seem to have a reasonable agreement of that plausibility. But if I were to have said made that statement to you, you have said, "Oh, I'm going racial."
No, you went racial. I am just rebutting what you said. You went.
Okay,
you
I'm sorry.
took it there, not me. You took it there.
Two way.
No, you took it there. Now,
no, but I just tried to point that out to you to show you, Mr. Mike.
Hold on, man.
That there's a purpose to what appears to be my madness.
You see how I sit down here, and when you go back and watch the tape, you'll see me sitting down quite often, just listening to you. You should do the same. It's discourteous to talk over people like you do. And I'm saying I need to say that to you. Now, majority rules. Do you agree with that?
I do not agree with majority rule, and the majority is going to walk all over the minority. Well, how about that for an answer?
So you're saying majority rules, but only in specific situations. That's what you're saying.
Not necessarily either. I'm just
So
being
what are you saying? They either rule or they don't.
huh?
Devil's advocate. That's
Yeah,
what you're being.
yeah, because
understand.
that's the reality. I mean, it means then now that all Creole people who wants to join the police force or are in the police force because we are
What Creole people?
to stay with the point.
Was this case about
Wait,
Creole
let me finish,
people?
man.
Was
Okay.
the case about Creole people? Or
Had
are
to
you
have been if
saying
it's about their hair
are all
and the
Creole
comparative
people
of their
do-
hairstyle and hairdos and how they
do all Creole people wear dreadlocks?
no.
All right. So this was about dreadlocks, not about Creole.
It's about
That case-
hairstyle and hair. Okay, Mr. G, even
It
here
was
in America
about
right now, there are
dreadlocks.
laws that are being made. There are laws that are being made. You ever heard about the Crown Law, which is what we have in Belize? We have the same thing going on out here in America, okay? All the laws in the different departments are being revised to accommodate
The
black
single
people's
person.
hairstyle and not being discriminated against because of their hairdos. You know that right now, if you go for an interview for a job here in America and you wear a dreadlock, you might not even get in at the door, much less take an interview.
So what are you
Those are
telling
the
me?
realities.
Yeah, and what are you saying? How does
Because
that
the expectation is that you should come there well put together with tie and dress for the occasion or for the thing.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question because it obviously depends on the type of job you're going for. If you went into the hospital and a doctor came that looked like a homeless person, smell bad, look bad, would you be happy for that doctor be attending to you?
Mr. Mike, you got in there, but I'll mess around again, right? Because I'll tell you, a lot of doctors have bad smell for different reasons.
Oh my
Male
God.
or female.
Oh my God. I can't
And you
believe
can't stop them from doing their job if they come for service you.
I can't believe you don't really understand
That you bring up that point. So I explain to you how you do
this
the point was.
This will be now about doctors having a bad smell. You're stuffing a straw man. Stick to an argument without all the fallacies, man.
And try to show you how ludicrous your argument could be taken, sir.
No. I'm saying
to what extreme?
This is a simple thing I'm saying to you. There are specific careers that require specific dress code. If you're working at McDonald's, you need to wear a hairnet. Simple. When you're cooking, you need to wear a hairnet. All right? You need to be at least have a neat appearance. Just because some doctors smell bad, you want to tell me that, in fact, as a doctor come to me smelling bad, I will tell him about it. And I would be happy.
You talk about McDonald's, and I'll give you a specific example right now, okay? Exactly about McDonald's.
No, you're making about the McDonald's.
I'm trying to make it quick.
Run up the truck behind every herring when you smell. That's ridiculous. You are full of fallacies, sir.
I'll explain.
Make we hear about McDonald's. Go ahead. About McDonald's.
On various occasions, but on this particular occasion that I was reflecting on when I was telling you I was going to give you an example, is that I went to a McDonald's to get some food. I wanted to go use the bathroom. I went and used the bathroom, and the person that I saw that was behind the counter came to the bathroom, used the bathroom, and was about to walk out the bathroom to go back to do his job. I had to call his attention and embarrass his ass because I wasn't about to go eat no food from his dirty hand then. And I don't think that anybody else should be subject to that kind of unfairness or lack of hygiene. The guy have enough water in there in the bathroom that he can go and wash his hands just like everybody else. But he walk out and go. And a lot of people I see that do that.
Can I ask a question?
Okay? So that's why when you bring up the McDonald's thing,
economy of words, you already tell the story, Mr. Man.
Okay.
Let you rest. You know the first thing I learned in public speaking? Say what you got for say and shut up. Really. So you in the bathroom now, the man come in and not wash your hand, but that is what he wants to do. That for him culture. You hold on. He not used to wash your hand. By your argument, he's supposed to be allowed to do that if he wants to. You still don't see my point?
No, double talk for me. You double talk for me there.
No, the double talk. That is the same thing.
You gave me my example before. I pointed out to you that the example was faulty by showing you my specific experience. And then now you go back and reverse the thing. Mr. Mike.
No.
That too grown up to talk, brother.
I would hope, but
Let's
sometimes I
stop this
wonder. I would
Let's
hope.
stop this slick.
I would hope, but it's
But
sadly
go ahead.
enough,
I mean, sorry.
sometimes I'm left wondering
you're
if
sure,
that's
but-
true. But I'm saying to you, my point is that
Yes, sir.
there are rules and guidelines in every aspect of
I
society.
agree with you on that. 100%.
And if you
I would be a
want
fool not to agree with you on that.
oh my God, just shut up, no man. Shut up sometime, Mr. Brother. Now, if you want to abide in that, if you want to live in that area, if you want to go to that school, if you want to go to that church, if you want to work at that company, you must abide by those rules. And when you go, they need to give you, first of all, a list of the rules that they have in place. If you look at those rules, the Constitution says everybody is entitled to an education. That's what the Constitution says. Now, they would not be denying you an education by not letting you go to the school if their rule says your hair should be short, because there are options. There are other schools that you can go to. That school has the right to say the type of education that we offer here includes discipline. Discipline means that you must learn to groom yourself a specific way. And that is the whole crux of the matter, sir. What is so difficult to understand about that?
I would have preferred for you to have been one of the, hopefully that you have been one of the lawyers arguing that case to the judge that made the ruling. Then, you know, you'd have been put to right.
Well, you can put me to right now. You have the
No,
opportunity.
I'm not the judge. The case is already established as a settled case.
But this is not about that case. Our
It is
argument
settled
is
law
not about
now.
our argument is not about
And we are
that
still
case.
here debating something that is a settled law. just
But
because
you
somebody
brought
have a
that up.
different
You
opinion
brought that up. You brought that up.
You brought up about the kids them, sir. And I'm
Yes,
trying to
I
explain to you
did.
that
You brought up the
those
case
kids
about the
have the
police.
same right that the grown-up people in have.
Bracket.
That is my point, why I connect with them.
Try follow me. Yes, I brought up about the kids. You went to the police department. Now you want to tell me I'm gonna be the liar because then I'm
No.
now kind of thing. And I'm saying you keep speaking of things that has no. It might be relevant because of a similar kind of situation, but we're dealing with one specific case here. We're dealing with kids not being allowed to go to a specific school because they're not adhering to the rules of that specific school.
Let me go legalistic on you then. The same rights that the grown-up have, the kids then have.
You're lying.
We're not in
That is
agree,
crazy.
we're not in disagreement with that, right?
That is crazy.
So you see, that is then the basis of your perspective.
As human beings, they have the right to
That's
live.
the basis of
but
your
you know
perspective.
that
The Constitution speaks to the fact that
boy, you know,
Belizeans, as
until you're 18,
a person,
you're not even considered a person until you're 18. You're considered a child. Be cool. You can't. What right they have? Does a child have the right to go vote? Does a child have
so
the
you never
right
heard
to
about
vote?
that thing called human rights, right? You only become a human after 18.
Answer the
Is that
question.
what you're trying to tell me?
No, you know, stop
Come
that.
on.
Stop the fallacies, man. Does a child have the right to vote? Answer yes or no.
We're talking about human
Hold on,
rights.
man. No. You're not talking about human rights. You're speaking about rights. You were general in it. Does a child have the right to vote? I'm asking you yes or no. Why is it so difficult for you to answer a question? Just because it's going to expose the hypocrisy of your statements. That's all it is. But
You
just
use the word
answer it.
hypocrisy, right? They just know, right?
Just answer the question, man. Not go to hypocrisy now. Why are you so willing to go down one rabbit hole for every issue? Everything
Because
you
on every
grab-
point that I try to bring across to you, there's
No,
a lack of
stick-
credibility.
No, stick.
It's like I'm wasting my breath trying to, because you don't tell me already, I don't need to try convince you. You know? It's not about convincing you. It's about dealing with the facts, black and white.
I didn't say that.
If something is in black and white,
I did not say that. You want me to repeat what I said? You can speak until you make your point, but you cannot speak until you convince me. That's what I said. And I repeat that again for you every time.
I was referring to a previous statement that we had discussed.
Yes,
okay?
that's the same one.
I don't think that you are forgetful enough that you can't recall what I'm
Why are
talking
you
about.
saying that again? The fallacies you're throwing in the argument. Argue like an adult, man. Argue like a grown up. Stick to the issue. Go ahead now. What are you saying now? What are you saying exactly? Because the
I'm
point
saying
is
to you,
about
Mr. Mike, that the Constitution empowers and endows the same right every Belizean or every person that is born in Belize after the date of independence is a Belizean. Every person that is born prior to independence in Belize is a grandfather Belizean.
What does that have to do
and
with
the Constitution empowers and endows the same elements of rights on each individual.
Does a
as a
child have the
Belizean.
right? Does a child have the right to vote?
Again, again, you're not willing to listen to none, but I'm saying, therefore, what I'm saying doesn't contextualize.
What you're saying.
It doesn't contextualize. You don't get the
You're not
point.
hearing yourself. You're not hearing yourself, Mr. Brackett. You're not hearing yourself. You said specifically every human being has the same rights. That's what you said. And every adult, you said children have the same rights as adults. And I'm showing you one specific area where they don't, but you are refusing to look at it and understand it, sir. Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult? Do children have the right to vote?
How can you differentiate?
I mean, how can you
make such a differentiation? But you're not willing to hear what I'm saying as a differentiation.
Just answer the question, sir.
You want a yes or no answer so you can apply that yes or no within a different context.
But I would not be able to apply
Mike, Mr. G.
How could I apply anything to anything if it does make sense? And you would be able to stop me. Everything I'm saying to you makes sense. What you're saying doesn't.
Okay, I think I'm talking over your head. I'm not only just talking over you, but I'm talking over your head. So I need to back off a little bit.
If that makes you feel better,
I'm making reference to constitutional matters that you seem oblivious about.
If that is what it means,
and as a result, therefore, we are talking past each other.
If that's what you need, if that's what you need to assuage your little ego, fine.
It's not about ego.
You're talking over my head.
It's about dealing with the facts.
You're talking over my head.
It's about dealing with the facts.
All right.
I tell you about the Constitution says certain things about any and every Belizean born in Belize before the independence date or born in Belize after the independence date and the rights conferred upon them
to vote.
And when people are violating those basic rights, they're in contravention of the Constitution. That is all that I'm trying to bring across to you and going around with the whole of this discussion that we have had, but I still can't get it across to you.
Can I ask you a simple question?
I don't know why or how.
Can I ask you a simple question? What are one of those, only one, because you say there are a lot of rights. What are one of those rights that are being violated, in particular in this specific instance? What is that right?
The same one that the judge ruled on and said that the young ladies them were entitled to their rights being vindicated by the court, and therefore he ruled in their favor and against the police department. And the police department, the least they can do now is go back and
Mr. Brackett, Mr. Brackett, are those people there that you're speaking about children, because the children they go to school here? Are those people children that you're speaking of? This case with the police?
Yeah, somebody's children because they were born in Belize. And they are Belizeans by that virtue.
Children. That makes them children. Yep. Our Belizeans are children. That's what you're saying.
Mike, we are all children before we become adult, brother.
Go study.
I mean, you tell me I like talk about the obvious, right? That I want to name right there.
Go study argument and syllogism. Go study it. Because the syllogism of an argument is simple. You set a premise and you come to a conclusion. If your premise is false, your conclusion will be false.
But you don't allow that to happen. You try to catch me at got your situations, you know, and as a result, you put up some propositions there that are, as far as I could say, are not, they are basically debunkable, like I said before. You know, I mean,
which one is that? Which one is debunkable?
The whole discussion we've been having so far right now, you're just trying to get me to say a yes or no to a question that you asked.
That a child is not an adult? That a child cannot vote?
Michael, isn't that obvious? I'll use back your one debate style. Isn't that obvious? Why are you even intimating that?
What?
Do you expect that I'm not smart enough to recognize that?
Well, obviously you didn't. You're not, because you got the two of them tied together.
No, you see, I use your one. Sorry, I take on with me.
No, you're not. You're not here.
I use back your one.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're sounding silly. You really are sounding silly, Mr.
Because that's how silly you sound. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Well, you're arguing like a child.
You speak on points.
What I don't mean that you.
You try to speak on points And when I clarify those points or point out those points as
You
being
haven't
deficient,
clarified anything. All you did a murky the water. You have
you
not
start to say at the
clarified.
top
I've been
this and at
trying
the
to
top
get.
that, and
Hold on. I've been trying
instead
to.
of sustain the debate.
I'm trying to get clarity from you from the start. From the start. And that's all I try to. You are not clarifying anything. You keep running from here to there to everywhere. Nothing that you're saying relates back to the original point of argument that we're having. We're talking about children in school that needs to adhere to rules, and that rules are meant to teach discipline. Discipline is necessary for life. Have I said anything wrong there?
Okay. Now, Mr. G, I'll tell you this up front. Okay? Please allow me to. Those children, if their parents take that matter to court, they would be vindicated, just like how the adults were vindicated. The same rights, grounds? The same constitution.
On what grounds, sir? On what grounds? On what grounds? And when you say vindicated,
that was the question. That was the question that was the question that the people who were arguing against the case originally were saying. On what grounds are they going to prevail when the police department have the authority over them?
Yes.
You even intimated that a little earlier in this specific conversation.
Are you saying that the schools will be forced to take them in as they are?
I'm saying as I repeated before.
My boy, can't you answer a simple question with a simple answer? Why can't
No, because you need knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge and I just throw something out there at you, you have the right to accuse me like you have done before. That because I say I have to, you have to accept it. I know you try to do that. I try to avoid that.
You got the knowledge. Oh, I
see. Try put you in a situation where you get sit in information for yourself and make up your own decision.
Yeah.
That is where, because I can't lead nobody to the water and force them to drink if I don't kick them in their guts while they're facing the water. Then they have to inhale the water, right, and drink.
In other words, that got to do with anything. The fuck that got to do with any argument we're having, sir?
It has to do with credulity, sir. One word, credulity.
Let me go.
The whole of the debate there right now has to do with one single word, credulity. What we believe or don't believe and why we believe it, and how come we can sustain a debate on the ideas or the thoughts or the specific point in a lucid way.
It is good that we're on different sides of this argument, because I like having arguments with people who I disagree with, because that's the best way to learn. And hold up, fuck, man, just make a talk, no sir. One time, I sit down and I listen to you, man. It's frustrating, Mr. Brackett. Just make a talk, son, to make a finish my sentence. You know the funny thing, my man got in jail, and the judge got 15 years, and he said, tell the Bali said 15 years. I said, yeah, but I didn't finish. I went out directly. He said, why? He said, "Cause my wife not make her finish my sentence." You, that is same thing. If I go to jail, like you, I want to represent me, because you don't make a man finish your sentence. I'm trying to say to you. The point is that there are rules to abide by in every circumstance, and that was the point I'm making. You were going to tell me then that certain rules made up by the white man, I said, no, apply for this. That is nothing. Rules were made up from the beginning of civilization, when two men will live together, one woman and a woman live together, when family live together, they realize that we must abide by a certain guideline here. If we don't, we can't get nowhere. There are certain things you cannot steal, you should not kill, you should not lie. These things are rules that you cannot break, or you're outside of the parameter of good living. Now, you got an argument against that? Come with it.
Mr. Mike, I'll explain something to you that's been going on here in this conversation between us, right? Even though sometimes I try to, even though sometimes you see I'm deflective and I go in a different direction, there's a purpose to my madness, sir. And I'm sorry that you have to endure that because of, us having a difference of opinion and your unwillingness to accept anything that comes from me as having any viability, because either you have not confirmed it yet, because I've just said it maybe, or you have not been aware of any such thing as being a reality. Therefore, you dismiss it. and explain to you what, and I'm being honest and upfront and genuine to you when I'm doing this right now, because it is part of a process. And I think I have to be honest with you and upfront. I've been trying to get you to a situation where you are comfortable in order to recognize some of the things that we seriously have difference with, and that we will probably discuss before, discuss further at some other time, or maybe now, or in the past that we have attempted to discuss. But there are major, significant issues. When I brought up the issue about law just now, it was part of my madness, intentional, to take you to a different level than just the level where we were. When I brought up about the adults case being dealt with at the court, it's because, like I said to you afterwards, if those kids and parents take their case to the court, they will also prevail. It's the same law, the same constitution, the same settled law now that it has been ruled on, because previously it had not been ruled on. Any such case had always been dealt with within the police department, you know, and they decide, well, if they sanction the person or not sanction the person or whatever.
Is there any point you will let me? Is there at any point will you let me say something? Because I thought
I didn't finish the thought. Go ahead.
Apologize, man. No, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Anyway, listen to me.
I don't worry about the look, so I worry about the information. We transfer information to each other. I'm learning from you as well as I'm hoping that you may have an opportunity to learn something too. So that's at least the way I'm looking at it. No, and thank you for the privilege.
The case that you're bringing up was a case about adults. It's a case that I did not agree with the outcome. I don't agree with that, because if you have guidelines and rules, you stick with them. If you want to challenge the rule, and that's what they did, was challenge the rule. It was stupid for them to allow them to break that rule just to accommodate a small fraction of individuals. But however, having said that, let me finish, because you talked about 10 minutes and I did not interrupt you. I sat and listened to you. Now, the case that we're dealing with now are about children. There's a difference between adults and children, if you have not noticed. And children are not considered adults until they're 18 years of age. There are different guidelines that they must abide by, or should. And if you just make them do anything they want to do, then you're going to have what you have now, a nation of entitled brats that don't know the head from the butt from holding on the ground. We have dumbed down considerably as a society because of the fact that we have not been adhering to the basic specific rules that create good adults out of wayward children. And all children are actually just a ball of energy running all over the place. We need to direct them. The floor is yours, sir.
I don't have any issue or problem with that, as you said, sir, because as a parent, that's exactly what I've always tried to do myself, right? And all parents, I presume, well, most parents, I shouldn't say all, but most parents, 99.9% of the parents then probably are of that perspective or opinion. They all probably do it in different ways, you know, based on their, you know, their own circumstance. But going back to the point about the children, let's put it in that context. Let's keep it in that context, since that's the genesis of the conversation. The children, you did not hear me say, could go to court and have their case vindicated, did you?
Yes, you did.
It's an unanswered question.
I did hear you say that.
No, you didn't hear me say that, right?
You said if they go to
wait, let me.
You said that, sir.
Sir. Let me explain to you why I brought that point up.
You asked me a question.
Okay, I understand you. I heard you. But I'm trying to explain.
But accept that. Accept it before you move on. You did say that, didn't you?
Sir, I did not say that.
You said
I asked you a question, which was a trap question, and you fall into the trap.
Mr. Brackett, there was no trap.
It's as simple as that, and you don't recognize it.
You said that if the children took their case to court, they would be vindicated.
No kid can't take no case to court. Their parents. You heard me say their parents. Go back and listen to the tape. Go back and listen to the tape. You want to hear me say their parents. If their parents take them their case to court, they will prevail. just like the grown up, because the rules are for both grown up and children.
Wouldn't the parents be taking the case on behalf of the children, sir?
Yes, that is my point.
All right. What is the point?
And that's the reason why I said it was a trick question that you allow yourself to fall prey to.
What trick question? What trick question? You said they would prevail.
That,
you said they would prevail. You saying that doesn't mean it. Come on, man.
I knew you was going to go into that as an answer, which is why I asked you.
Going to
the question that way.
Going to what as an answer?
Because the records will tell you, if you go back and listen to the tape, what I said is not what you said that I said.
Hold up. What as an answer? What did you know that I would go into as an answer? What are you talking about? What is the trick question and what did I go into as an answer? No, come on.
I ask
clarity.
I ask you. You didn't hear you didn't hear me say that the children would take their case to court.
Or you said the parents.
Because I knew you was trapped in that cycle of thought process, and you retorted, yes, I did say that. And sir, if you go back and just listen to the tape, rather than just try to recall with your own memory,
you said that the children,
you'd find out that
you said that the parents,
precisely is what and that's the reason why I asked the question the way I asked it.
Sir, when you go to court,
there was a reason for it.
Hold on. When you go to court and a lawyer is representing you, who is going to court? Who is going to court? You are the lawyer. Who the lawyer is representing you? Whose interest is being discussed here, my brother? Whose interest? Yours or the lawyers?
Okay. The aggrieved party is the party whose name is at the head of the complaint or the complainant, so to speak.
Right.
And in this case,
the children will be there.
To lend support to your perspective out of context, of course, because I know you're going to run with it again and I want to state again. The parents, as the adult guardian of the kids, then apply for the case on behalf of the kids. And then the adult is the one that has the standing. The kid cannot have standing in the court. They cannot go to court.
But you said the kids and the adults.
I preface this to you just now, right? And you see how you react? Exactly as I knew you was going to react, which is why I told you you was going to react like that.
You had to play games. I had to try learn.
I don't play no games. I try to show you something.
You had to play games.
No. The lawyer is only the legal representative.
Right. But you
the officer of the court that represents the aggrieved.
Why? You said the children and the adults have the same rights in Belize because of their ban before independence or after independence and a whole lot of hogwash.
Which is why that is a constitutional statement I was making to you, and you cannot seem to differentiate.
Which has something to do with children and adults, right? What does that have to do with children and adults?
You're deliberately, I don't know if it's just, you try to get me and got your situation, right? But you're trying to get some person where.
I am looking for clarity.
Yes, but they try to do it in a got your situation and I try to explain to you that that is not a plan.
How we do it?
It is not going to be a got your situation because I'm too many steps ahead of the game in that regard, and which is why I can afford to tell you what you're going to do before you do it.
Yeah, but before you go any further, I got two announcements I have to make.
Go ahead,
hold
sir,
on
go
for
ahead.
a minute, then I get back to you. Hold on for a second.
Why, you see, up the Charlie
look at this time we go on, in a couple of weeks.
Love it.
That thing there, you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, respect. What?
With the grow,
you almost the grow, yeah, respect you. Oh, Mr. Leonard.
Yes,
when we come off, we got so every time we don't want to say for the news, but we are, when we come off, but in the meantime.
I texted you earlier today because I'm on, but go ahead. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, we're good. That's why the populace know, you know. Anyway.
I don't want to talk about me behind my back, you know.
Oh,
anyway,
come on, man.
Back to the dealer.
I have nothing to do with you, sir. I have nothing to do with you.
I don't want to talk
Come on, man. Stop going like that.
Don't play back no man. Anyway, listen to me. So we're good though. We're good.
We're good.
God, I gotta make some runs.
Let me. All right. So what? You're cut off now?
If you, I mean, it's time. I'm going to come a little late-ish, but
give me 3 minutes, make we talk about the thing. Because the Queen of the Bay has agreed to come in and do a little walk around in the park and give the prizes away that we're raffling. We're raffling on some nice things. Elder Kanaki from Miami has given some nicely gifts also. When I put on top, Chester promised me a bike. I'm going to talk about Chester. And if you don't bring that bike, we get
I hope you don't get vexed today.
Chester got thick skin.
Name came up here. I want to know why name came up.
He got thick skin. You know where about that. His name always come up in a public figure. And I know I always agreed and neither. And he know that. But we respect each other. But yes, man, it's gonna be a nice day. And we got some. Why they open some barrel and thing when they send me I mean, I know I half anything me I keep. Me can't sell anything, man. That's a good thing. And most I ain't got tagged. We can't look at everything.
Mr. Brackett.
See why I want my barrel with everything on my size. I got 34. All the pants are 34. My boy, everything. So
he's not like that, Mr. Brackett. Don't mind that. I'm a mention that, man. I'm a mention that.
I'll put there that. I might wind up the bicycle and back myself, but.
Yeah, you know where I go. Yeah, respect you, man.
Everything gonna be everything. Listen,
well, man, Wednesday, 7 BG time. You did a Frisco time. Wednesday evening, we are dealing with the thing, man. We are starting the thing. I'm excited.
Bracket, you there, Frisco?
Yes, sir.
You are like on Frisco.
Mr. Mike, before I go, I won't be able to be there for the thing, no? But I send a couple of people by there. Hopefully, make them see what they could grab.
Wonderful, man. Wonderful. And we, Megan Beans, they come out, so we got Megan Beans on top, and we know everybody love Megan Beans. It's still the best beans around. Nice rice and beans. And
maybe I should talk with you after you get out for the thing. I might talk with you.
Nice, man. And then what you could do, you could, if you want, your order one, a certain amount and
Hey, you're getting at the conversation before we get there, man.
Make it call when you're ready. I'll check with you guys later. One love.
We are talking.
I feel like I get lashing on the show. When you set me up, bring your game Wednesday. Later. Respect every time.
One love.
Gone.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Respect.
Can I call you on the regular line, Mr.
Hey, Mr. Leonard. Everybody believes in what? No, not at the moment. I don't have any. I print up shirt, no. I just start print up some more, no, and I got no more, I believe. That's a good idea, man. That's a good idea, boy. But damn, man. Sorry, I missed out. Yeah, man, that's true, man. That's gonna be nice, man. That's gonna be real nice, man. Yeah, I never thought about that. I got all color, man. I have all colors. You just gotta order the size of the thing and shipping and handling, the price and shipping and handling. And you gotta order the size. I don't know what size you want. But I'll send you a format directly. Just relax for a minute. Make I take care of the business there first, and then we got time. I'll make sure you get the whole thing still order it how you want, you know. All right. Okay. Okay, cool, man. That's nice. Yeah. That's nice, man. Yeah. At night. All right. Yeah, man. No worry, sir, man. No handle it, man. No worry. We'll talk later. All right. All right. No worry, sir. I'll set it up for you, man. I'll set it up. Just talk to me. I'll call you, Mr. Brocky. Don't worry. I got you, man. Mhm. Yeah, but he will get there anytime, because he work there anytime. So never be doing nothing. Oh, yeah, probably go get the door before then. I could probably get the door before then. Yeah, the thing is, Hello. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, no worries, man. No worries, man. I understand. I understand. You got a few minutes now. Okay, well, yeah, only what's left is only black and white t-shirts, Mister Leonard. How many of them do you want? Yeah, yeah, it's colors. It's colors. It's not white or black. It's colors. The logo is colors because it's the logo be on it. Black shirt, t-shirt. You say you want it, right? Yeah. What color you want it? What color you want it? What size you want? Whatever size you want, I go get. I think they said they have green too. They have green too. Each of them is $38. Yeah, six. That'll be six. No, do you want me to ship them to Belize? You want me? What you want me to do with them? Because the shipping and handling you pay for. Make it eight, but where you want to ship to? I don't know. No, you want to ship to Michael. So you want to ship to Belize? Yeah. Then it should be ready. Yeah, it should be ready by it be ready by then. Because eight t-shirts is not big. You can put that, you can send that UPS. But I will let you know. But then again, the thing is now, ain't nothing happening until Tuesday. Ain't no business is open till Tuesday. The post office is closed. Say it again. That's the 15th. You got time. It's the 15th. You got time. I'm working on filming. I'm working on filming yourself. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I just gotta find out. Even I'm gonna talk to him, get his address. Even if I gotta mail it myself, I just get a refund from you. Cause I can mail it from here directly to him. That's if there's nobody going. If there's somebody going, then I will have them take it. But if not, then we gonna mail it. No problem. Yeah, man, I got you, man. No worries, Mr. Rocky. Thanks, Mr. Rocky. Right. Yeah. Eventually, yeah. I just don't know, yeah. At the momento, yeah. Correct, Mr. B. I agree. You can wear it when you come on the show, and so I know you like wear a suit and tie when you come on the show, you know. But you can wear my t-shirt too, you can wear. All right. All right, bless up. All right, I'll work it out and get back to you. All right, I got you, but I don't know where to talk about already, but don't yourself. I want check it out and make you know, all right? All right. See you want eat, right? You want eat now, yeah. Shipping and handling. All right. Make a relate to my daughter, man, because she take care of this, all right? So I'll talk to you. Well, Mr. Brackett, please text me your number, please. Yes, and then I think everybody gotta get each other's number. Anybody that's on our team for Wednesday gotta get each other's number. It was mentioned before, but we forgot it. But could you text me yours, please? Thank you, sir. All right, I'll talk to you later. I don't know if you do that, you know. Don't bring me like that. I don't know if you do that. They ball that. Why, when you get that tight, you get that tight. Mm. Yeah, you're betting that, man. You're betting that, man. I don't worry about them, man. I don't know the long before I know, so I don't worry about that. You know what, come out, I hold at all. You know what, come out of the hole, you know what, come out of the hole, and try to chop up the man, that no good, man. But why you want to try to chop up the man, that no good, man. Don't chop up the man like that, man, that no good. Oh, yeah. But like I said, that's between you, man. Make I take care of my business, because my business is important. All right, so you later. All right, please.